Hello, my fellow other selves. Today we are going to be talking about a very important subject, that of water, which most of us, under certain density of existence, need constantly. It is a fundamental or basic need, and so it's an important subject, obviously, that not enough people know enough about. So I'm going to be sharing some products that I use and also some general information about the subject of water, otherwise known as H2O, as it is made of hydrogen and oxygen. And those are, again, fundamental components to this particular physical reality and most of the physical vehicles within it. So, this isn't really something that anyone else needs to tell you to do, but quenching your thirst with water is of primary importance. Other beverages, are made of water, indeed, but they have other things in them, sugars and flavors and other, additives, plant-based material, which there's nothing fundamentally wrong with. But clean, healthy water, just nothing can beat it. There can be other beverages with added things like electrolytes and vitamins and minerals, and those are fine. But just good quality water is primarily what our bodies are made of to a large degree, from different perspectives: water, light, bacteria, things like that. So what kind of water do I drink? Personally, I only drink purified water or spring water that I know is a really good quality source. Um, Now, I don't buy bottles. All the individual plastic bottles end up, yes, some are recycled, but many of them still end up in landfills or oceans as pollution and waste. So I fill my own water bottles when I go to the grocery store, a purified water machine, and I carry around my own water container, plastic water bottle, not BPA. If you do research on that, BPA can leach chemicals into the water in the containers that it's in. So, yeah, it's just good quality. It's got a little protective top to prevent the mouthpiece from getting dirty. It's got a little belt clip in case I want to hang it on my belt so I don't have to constantly carry it around. And again, I can carry my own water with me. This isn't going to last all day, so I'll have to refill it from time to time. But it's good to carry around because you never know the quality of the water of the places that you're going to be going to, either in restaurants or other people's houses or other venues. And again, a lot of the time they'll give you a bottle of water that the bottle will end up being trash and not recycled. This is my way of not only helping myself but also Earth in terms of being healthier. Let's talk about why it's best to avoid most tap water. Aside from some of the chemicals that have been added to it for various reasons, a lot of the pipes that the water travels through, it's picking up materials through there. So unless you have a whole house water filter, which is a good thing to have, I strongly recommend a whole house water purifier, depending on the particular brand and what exactly it is filtering out. Because some of them, there's varying degrees of quality, obviously, of those. But so I strongly recommend one of those. A lot of these handheld, bottled purifiers like the Brita brand, they really don't do as good a job as a lot of people would like, as most people, as really would be beneficial to most people. Things like that, Brita's, it's just the most popular name brand. It's really the most basic filtration. I've used everything from a Berkey water filter, which is a gravity style filter, to a reverse osmosis, under the sink filter. Uh, I used to use Brita, but then I learned more, and now I see it as very lacking and unacceptable in terms of the quality of the filtration. So, obviously, different people are going to be able to afford different things, but generally speaking, I mean, you want to filter out a lot of the things that are in water, heavy metals and pollutants and chemicals and things. And some of the things that people have been led to believe are actually good for them in water, not so much. the more research you do on that. Fluoride being the most controversial and well-known example where people have been led to believe, oh, it's good for your teeth. Well, if that's the case, then why are you drinking it? It's going into your stomach and it's, absorbing into the rest of your body as well. If that were true, then you would just be swishing your mouth with it instead of, gulping it down and having it absorb into other parts of your body. Particularly, it affects the pineal gland in the very center of your brain, also called the seat of the soul or the third eye. Uh, Very important for mental clarity and spiritual connection. And so, yeah, it ends up, fluoride building up in there calcifies it, makes it less effective a transceiver. So, yeah, that's just one part of the body that it affects, but and it's an important one. I could get it, I could go further into that topic, such as fluoride being a byproduct of the aluminum industry. So it's really not something that you would want in your body, although again, some people have been led to believe that it is. So ultimately, you have to decide for yourself. I don't use fluoride toothpaste, and I've been drinking, purified water with no fluoride for years, and my teeth are fine. So I go to the dentist and I ask them to use non-fluoride toothpaste. So again, it's a sensitive subject for some people, but I've done a lot of research into that as well, and it's related to water because some people are putting it in the water. But again, if you do more research, you're going to discover that many countries have classified fluoride as a neurotoxin. So then that begs the question, well, why are the other countries putting that in the water? So because everyone has different bodies, both in size and constituency, you can't really say an exact amount of how much you need to drink. It's going to vary depending on your body and what you do with it. So just drink when you're thirsty is really the simplest method of really, knowing yourself, listening to your body and its own needs. But again, clean water, there's nothing more refreshing for your body than that. The higher densities you reach of existence, you no longer need such things anymore. Your body becomes more self-sufficient. But again, for most people who are able to see this, you will be needing water constantly in order to live. But there are always exceptions. Not everyone's reality is slightly different for everyone. So now on to a couple testers that I use for testing water quality. This one being a TDS tester, which stands for total dissolved solids, basically measuring the particulates in the water that aren't basically water, again, contaminants, both organic and inorganic materials. But you stick this in there and it measures, parts per million, basically. You basically want this to be as low as possible. There are some which say, there's a spectrum of degrees of quality, like, excellent quality is below 300 micrograms per liter. But it's kind of, again, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be dependent on the quality of your water filtration. It's going to vary. I can't say it needs to be this particular number. It's going to vary for different people, but generally you want it to be as low as possible, meaning that the water is as pure and clean as possible. And this is relatively cheap. This, I think I got this for less than, it was around $5. This was years ago. Can't remember exactly, but it's gonna be less than $10 for a decent. It doesn't have to be something really expensive. And this one measures the pH of the water, which is basically, again, the general quality of the water. They're basically measuring both the water quality, but kind of using different metrics for it. pH stands for potens hydrogen, basically stands for the power of hydrogen, which is the main component of water. And again, you just stick this in the water and it tells you pretty quickly. The pH range is between 0 to 14. So neutral pH is 7. It's basically measuring the difference between more acidic and more basic water. The more acidic it is, the lower the number it's going to be. The more basic, the higher its number, the higher the number. So some people say, anywhere between 7 to 9 is a good quality or good measurement for your water. Again, it's going to vary depending on the individual. It's obviously, it can change the taste. and the texture, kind of the mouthfeel of the water. But that's kind of a big point. Is a lot of the additives and ingredients in say tap water, they're not really going to be very flavorful, so it's kind of going to be tricky. You may taste your tap water and say it tastes fine, there's nothing wrong with it, but not all chemicals have a taste you can detect, and sometimes you can't notice the difference until after you remove the chemicals, and then you say, oh, that tastes much cleaner. I did a comparison one time, testing just regular tap water and purified water, tasting wine. And if you drink tap water and taste wine, and then you drink purified water and taste wine, you can taste the wine a lot more. There's a lot more flavor and quality to it. It just tastes much better, which has to do with the quality of the water that you're drinking. And also, obviously, it was the same wine, but obviously the quality of the water that they used in the wine is a factor as well. But this was using the same wine as a control for both tests. So, yeah, it's water quality is a huge issue. You know, what you put in your body, you know, has an effect on the quality of your body itself. You know, as they say, you are what you eat. Well, also what you drink and you know, learn and do. So, water being one of our most primary basic needs is this is one of the most primary basic subjects of importance, really. And so, sharing a brief introduction and brief information about it. I will leave links below for where to obtain these particular meters and measuring devices. Now, in terms of travel, there are some about Brita-sized water pitcher filters that you can find that do filter out fluoride. Um, you'll have to go searching for those. I haven't used one in a while. I haven't traveled as much lately. But again, you know your water quality wherever you go. And again, I find it best to travel with things that can purify water. Yes, a container in your suitcase will take up more room. So I understand that this is going to be a step that a lot of people are not going to take. But again, it all depends on how much you know about water quality and how important it is to your health. Um, honestly, better water quality helps you have a better quality of life. That's why I'm sharing this information with you. There are also water purifying pumps that are a little more portable, such as one called the Guardian, I believe, MSI Guardian. If I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I've looked into that, but it's supposed to be pretty good quality where you can filter out, you know, really polluted water and turn it into really clean, potable drinking water. There's something called the Life Straw, which I have, which can do the same thing. You can basically stick it in a dirty puddle and it'll filter out into really good quality water. So there are some really great quality portable water purifiers and filters as well. Again, what you can afford and what you can find, what's available to you, that's up to you to do your own research and experimenting with to see what works best for you and your needs. So I recommend doing that. I'm not going to do a review of all of them because there's simply too many. So I leave that to you. You gotta do your own homework and your own research and your own experimenting. I can simply be a guide for some. I may cover more on this topic later, but for now, this is a good basic start. General knowledge for water, hydrology, if you will. But please like and subscribe and share and watch the other videos that I'm sharing as well. And as always, I hope you're doing well. Infinite love and light. Take care. Till next time.